Silent female triggers. Stoic wisdom, inner steel. There is a kind of silence that speaks louder than 1,000 words. Most people think attraction is created by talking more, explaining more, chasing more, and proving more. But the strongest impression you can leave is often created when you know exactly when to remain silent. Today, you'll discover the silent female triggers that naturally create curiosity, respect, and emotional attraction, not through manipulation, but through confidence, emotional control, and genuine self-respect. Before we begin, subscribe to Inner Steel and turn on notifications. Every video is designed to help you develop an unshakable mind, powerful confidence, and the discipline to become the strongest version of yourself. Let's begin. 1. The power of not chasing. One of the strongest silent triggers is refusing to chase someone who has already chosen to walk away. Imagine Daniel. He met a woman he genuinely liked. At first, everything felt effortless. They laughed together, exchanged long conversations, and planned weekends together. Then suddenly, her replies became shorter. Hours turned into days. His friends urged him to send more messages. Ask what's wrong. Call her again. Don't lose her. Instead, Daniel chose something different. He simply wished her well and continued living his life. He returned to the gym. He focused on building his business. He spent more time with his family. Weeks later, she reached out. She admitted she expected him to chase after her like every other man had. His silence wasn't punishment. It wasn't a game. It showed that his happiness wasn't dependent on someone else's attention. Stoicism teaches that your peace should never depend on another person's approval. When you stop chasing, people begin to notice your value because your attention becomes something earned, not something freely given. Real confidence doesn't scream. It quietly walks away from what doesn't choose it. 2. The calm man during conflict. Arguments reveal character. Almost anyone can stay calm when life is easy. Very few remain composed when emotions rise. Michael once dated a woman who often tested his patience. One evening, after a misunderstanding, she raised her voice in a crowded restaurant. People around them stopped eating and began watching. Most men would have defended themselves immediately. Some would have shouted louder. Others would have stormed out. Michael simply took a sip of water. He listened. When she finished speaking, he quietly said, "I understand why you're upset. Let's talk when we're both calm." Then he stood up, paid the bill, wished her a safe journey home, and left. The next morning she apologized. She confessed she had expected him to explode. Instead, his calmness forced her to reflect on her own behavior. Silence often becomes a mirror. People see themselves more clearly when you refuse to match their emotional chaos. Stoicism reminds us that no one can disturb your peace unless you surrender it. The strongest person in the room is rarely the loudest. The strongest person is the one who remains in control of himself. Every calm response builds respect that anger can never create. Here's points 3 to 5 for your silent female triggers. YouTube script. Writing. 3. She stops chasing you because you never chased yourself. A woman notices when a man has no direction. If your entire world revolves around her messages, her attention, and her approval, she begins to feel that she has become your purpose. Ironically, that pressure often pushes her away. The strongest attraction comes from seeing someone who is building a meaningful life of their own. There was a young man named David who canceled his gym sessions, ignored his friends, and postponed his business plans every time the woman he liked wanted to meet. At first, she enjoyed the attention. But after a few months, she started losing interest. One day she told him, "I missed a man who had goals." David was shocked. He thought giving her all his time would prove his love. Instead, it made him forget himself. When he finally returned to pursuing his dreams, his confidence came back. Whether she stayed or left no longer defined his happiness. The lesson is simple: never abandon your mission to impress someone else. A man with purpose naturally becomes more attractive because he values his own life. If you're enjoying this video, subscribe to Inner Steel for more lessons on confidence, self-respect, and inner strength. 4. She watches how you handle rejection. Everyone experiences rejection. What separates confident people from insecure ones is how they respond. When someone rejects you, do you become angry, desperate, or bitter? Or do you accept it with dignity and move forward? Imagine a man named Michael. After asking a woman out, she politely declined. Instead of arguing or begging for another chance, he smiled and said, "I understand. I wish you the best." Then he continued living his life. Months later, they met again. She admitted that his calm response surprised her because most people reacted emotionally. His maturity left a stronger impression than any clever pickup line ever could. Rejection is not proof that you're worthless. It's simply part of life. The way you respond reveals your character. Confidence stays calm. Desperation demands validation. 5. She notices the man who can be alone without feeling lonely. One of the most powerful qualities anyone can develop is the ability to enjoy their own company. When you're comfortable being alone, you don't cling to people out of fear. You choose relationships because they add value, not because you feel incomplete. James spent years jumping from one relationship to another because he hated being alone. Every breakup felt like the end of the world. Eventually, he decided to spend time improving himself. He read books, exercised, traveled, and learned new skills. For the first time, he discovered peace without depending on someone else. When he eventually met another woman, the relationship was healthier because he wasn't trying to fill an emotional emptiness. He already felt complete. Remember this: people are drawn to those who have built a fulfilling life. When you're at peace with yourself, your confidence becomes genuine, and that quiet strength speaks louder than words ever could. 6. She pays attention to how you treat everyone, not just her. Anyone can be charming when they want something. But true character is revealed in how you treat people who can do nothing for you. A woman notices whether you're respectful to waiters, security guards, cleaners, and strangers. Kindness without expecting a reward is a sign of real strength. There was a man named Daniel who always greeted everyone with respect. Whether it was the office cleaner or the company director, he treated them with the same dignity. One afternoon, the woman he liked watched him help an elderly man carry heavy bags across the street without anyone asking. She later admitted that moment impressed her more than expensive gifts or romantic words. People may forget what you say, but they rarely forget how you make others feel. Respect is attractive because it reflects confidence, maturity, and emotional control. The strongest people don't need to put others down to feel important. If you're enjoying these lessons, subscribe to Inner Steel for more videos on confidence, discipline, and inner strength. 7. She notices when you stay calm under pressure. Life will test everyone. Problems, criticism, and unexpected setbacks are unavoidable. The question is, how do you react? Losing your temper at every challenge shows a lack of self-control. Remaining calm shows inner strength. A businessman named Samuel was leading an important meeting when everything went wrong. The presentation failed, the projector stopped working, and several people began complaining. Instead of panicking, Samuel smiled, took a deep breath, and continued speaking without the slides. His calm attitude inspired confidence, and the meeting ended successfully. One of his colleagues later said, "I realize leadership isn't about having perfect circumstances. It's about staying composed when things fall apart. Your calmness becomes your greatest advantage. While others react emotionally, you remain focused. That's a quality people naturally admire." 8. She respects a man who keeps his word. Promises are easy to make but difficult to keep. Trust isn't built through beautiful speeches, it's built through consistent actions. When your words and actions match, people know they can rely on you. A young man named Peter promised his younger brother that he would attend his school graduation. On the day of the event, he received an invitation to an exciting business gathering that could have benefited his career. Instead of breaking his promise, he chose to be there for his brother. Years later, his brother said, "That day taught me what integrity looks like." Keeping your word may not always be convenient, but it builds a reputation that money cannot buy. A trustworthy person stands out in a world where many people make promises they never intend to keep. Remember, real strength is shown through consistency. When your actions reflect your words, respect follows naturally.